Welcome to All Things Moore County, Moore County's weekly radio show highlighting the many facets of the Sandhills. That includes real estate, lifestyle, community, and neighborhoods. And now, from 4 Properties, here's your host, Bill Sahadi.
Good morning. Welcome to the talk show, All Things Moore County. Dorothy, we have a show today with 2 guests.
Okay.
And so we're going to have almost two separate shows. In the latter half of the show, we're going to be speaking with the people from Drug-Free Moore County and in reference to an upcoming event that they're having. But in the first segment and the second segment, we're going to be speaking with Alice Casey. Alice has a company. She was a corporate planner. It's called Once Upon a Fairy Tale. And if that is not an intriguing name for a company,
It is.
I don't know what is, right?
It is.
And Alice has roots in Moore County, but today she lives out of state. But here she is in Moore County with her R Riveter handbag, supporting the local trade. Alice, we met back in, I think, 2016.
We did, yeah, when I first moved to Moore County.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And so when your name came up, it was like, oh my gosh, because I had lost track of you. But even though you don't live here in Moore County anymore, you firmly planted your business here. Tell me about your business. Tell me about the inspiration for it. What is Once Upon a Fairy Tale?
Okay, so originally, Once Upon a Fairy Tale was a small character appearance company. So what that means is if you have a daughter, son, grandchild who's having a birthday party, and our target age range is sort of anywhere from 1 to probably about 10, who decides they want a Spider-Man birthday party.
Yeah.
Somebody would call me and say, hey, could I book Spider-Man? And I will send one of my performers with a fabulous Spider-Man costume, and they will entertain. They will, we've done obstacle courses. We do story time with our princesses. We do temporary tattoos, all the kind of things that will entertain and dazzle children for about an hour to an hour and a half.
Because children at that age have such a vivid imagination, and they believe in magic.
They do, and they're so often in awe, when their favorite character suddenly walks in. And we have all the reactions from tears. Sometimes we get tears because it's a big event for a child.
Right.
But most of the time we just get elation and joy, and really that is my motivation. I mean, I love celebrating birthdays specifically. I love celebrations and parties in general. I grew up with parents who just hosted all the time. And so hosting and hospitality and parties and events are something that is ingrained in me. And I absolutely love being able to celebrate the birthdays of children. It's another year of their life. So that's just wonderful to me.
Before you came to Moore County, you had a corporate planning business in England?
I did, in London. It wasn't my business.
Okay.
No, I was in my early 20s. Most of my 20s I spent working in corporate London in events. And I did anything from fundraising events, which is a lot more fun. And then I did corporate educational conferences. I dabbled in weddings, but realized that was not my favorite niche. But the eventing and the events was what I really, really enjoyed.
These days I hear a lot about people doing what are called destination weddings.
Yeah.
Where my brother is actually going to Paris in a few weeks to attend a wedding.
Oh, nice.
And the people who are having it have no connection to Paris. They just selected the site. It seems to me like these events that you do for 1 to 10-year-old children, these are almost like destination parties where the reality of whatever they see in their world comes to life in their home.
Yeah, like their favorite movie walks into their home.
Right, and their eyes pop and they're like in disbelief. That's when the kids believe in magic, believe in Santa Claus, and you want to foster their dreams.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we do. That's what we love to do. We just love to create that magic, and so we don't just do birthday parties. They're kind of our bread and butter, as it were. But then a few years ago, I really saw a need as Moore County was growing and more families were just pouring in.
Right.
I saw a need for more events.
Uh-huh.
And so I started putting on, and that was then able to use my skills and my passion from my past to be able to bring in family-friendly events. So we started an annual Mad Hatter's Tea Party, which is so fun. And we've partnered with the Sandhills Trolley Company and done princess sing-alongs on the trolley.
Right.
We're working on a Spider-Man bowling, so that's up and coming. And then we participate in a lot of the local events. So we are often present at Oktoberfest, Springfest. We're at the First Eve ball drop every year. So we just love being out in the community. We love being visible. And so, whenever the kids see my characters, they always want to run up and have pictures and photographs and just create that special memory for them.
All the booking information and more specifics about the events that you do can be found on your website?
Yeah, on the website. I'm not a website pro, so I do use social media more than my website, but my website is up and running and does have almost everything on there. And then, we don't have an automated booking system because we want every booking to be very personalized. So it's more of a, you contact us, you tell us what we want, and we will work to get exactly what you want and how you want it.
Is there a percentage of events that you do where is it 50% for girls, 50% for boys, or is it tilting more one way or the other?
I think we probably do slightly more girls.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we do more princesses. I mean, I have more princesses than I have superheroes.
Right.
But it's probably closer to like 70-30, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was very intrigued. I looked at some of the photos on your site. How do you find the talent?
My performers.
Yes, they're students?
They are students, yes. So a few years ago, I came up with a little trick. And what I do is I scout out the high schools in the area and what the seniors or the juniors are doing in their drama play. So their big play of the year. And I go to that. I often take my oldest daughter, who loves plays. So I take her and we sit and we watch and then we scout. And after the performances, I go up and I chat to a few of the girls and guys who have been in the show.
Right.
And I've recruited a lot of my most amazing staff through that, my performance, because they already have that gifted talent. And so I do train my performers, especially how to interact with children, how to talk to the parents, because that's a really important element of it as well. But I have found that recruiting out of an already talented group makes my life a lot easier.
Yeah. Since we met way back in 2016, the Encore Center was not even a thing here.
Yeah.
And today it's become a great venue for local theater, and it's almost like a farm system for talent, for young kids. They have an aggressive production schedule.
They do.
And they have children on from all ages.
My daughter actually used to dance at Encore.
Did she really?
Yeah, when she was 3 and 4, yeah.
So is that one of the places that you'll scout?
Yeah.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
So it gives the participants a chance to earn some money.
Right.
To get out into the world a little bit and to interact with adults and children in a different way than they may have been used to before.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of them are wanting to pursue a form of acting at least into college. And so it gives them another point to add to their resume of, something that they've done in a professional setting, but also, very much incorporates their acting abilities. But also I like to teach them and train them specifically how to converse with the adults as well. I think that that's a key point that will help them going into the future. It will help them with job interviews. It will help them, as they enter the workplace. that ability to converse with adults in a way that they may not have had that training before.
So, beyond the parties that you do, there are other events besides just themed birthday parties that you do.
Yeah, so some of the ones I already mentioned, and then our biggest event of the year is the Daddy-Daughter Royal Ball, which is coming up in October.
And where is that going to be held?
So that is going to be held at Lighthouse at Little River this year.
Okay.
So we've moved the venue this year. We've been so honored to have been hosted by CCNC the last few years, but we felt like it was time for a change.
Okay.
And so we're moving out to Carthage. And that event it's got to be my most favorite event I think I've ever been a part of.
Well, we're going to come back in the second set because I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
And I also want to talk to you about, it's obvious you have a footing in Moore County, even though you're living in Virginia.
Yeah.
And you own a home here, but we want to talk about why you chose Moore County, even though you're not presently living here, but you obviously are a commuter.
Yes.
Alice Casey is our guest. Her company is called Once Upon a Fairy Tale. This is All Things Moore County. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our second set of All Things Moore County. Our guest is Alice Casey. Her company is called Once Upon a Fairy Tale. She has a very strong footing in Moore County, even though you're not living here right now.
I'm not, no.
So what kind of business plan is that where you're living in one state and your business is in another?
That's a good question. Well, we don't know how long we'll be gone. So we were here 7 years, and Moore County really became a place that we called home. And my husband and I both independently grew up very nomadic. I moved around all over England with my father, who was an educator. My husband grew up moving around all over the southern states and then ended up up north in the Midwest with his father being a pastor. And so we honestly thought we were going to be here 2 years when we first moved. You may remember that because we met you right at the beginning.
That's right.
And then, of course, as you know, as often happens in Moore County, especially when you move here for the military, you end up staying longer.
Right.
And the longer we stayed, the more we fell in love with it.
Right.
The more people we gathered around us and became the strongest community that either one of us have ever had.
It seems like you have very strong connections here in Moore County.
I do. I'm
like a local.
I sort of feel like a local sometimes. You know, it was about a year and a half in, which doesn't seem like a long time in a new place. And we went to Springfest, I think it was. And I walked around and about 4 people called out my name. And for the first time in my whole life, I sort of felt like I belonged somewhere and that moving would actually be really quite painful. And it was. I mean, when we moved in January, I walked around my house. I shed lots of tears, but we only moved 3 hours away. And leaving my business here was easier than uprooting it.
Right.
It's very established here. I employed a fabulous operations manager, a lady called Kia, who keeps everything running very smoothly for me. And it means I get to come back as often as I want to. Like you already mentioned, we have a house here that we Airbnb, so we dart back and forth very easily, and Moore County really is home.
So with all the events that you do, you were talking about the upcoming Daddy-Daughter Royal Ball.
Yes.
And to distinguish it from some of the media posts I see about different daddy-daughter dance or events.
Yeah.
But this is special.
This is special. It is, yeah. And not to bash any daddy-daughter dance because they're wonderful and they're fun. But this is something fabulous. This is something special. And we it started back in, I believe, 2014. So when I took it over in sorry, it started in 2016. I took it over in 2018.
Okay.
And we've just gone bigger and better every year. We have horse-drawn carriages every year that take the dads and their daughters for a magical little ride.
Oh, boy.
We have dinner, dancing. We have a silent auction, and every year we get to benefit a local Moore County charity, which again is something that's really close to my heart. So this year we are supporting Life Care Center, the pregnancy center in Carthage. So that's really, really special to be able to support them,
Right?
Because they do incredible work for women in the community. And so that's like an added element of the ball. And then we just get to have this magical evening. One of my favorite parts about the evening is that I always have a choreographer come in and teach a very simple dance to the dads and their little girls. And then we play the song a couple of times and they get to do it. And honestly, I don't think there's been a single year where I haven't shed tears watching it. And I know that I get spoiled because I get a lot of questions about, can mom come too? And what I lovingly and gently say is that, of course you're welcome, but this is specifically an event for dads and their daughters. And I truly believe, I have 2 daughters myself. And so seeing the relationship between a dad and a daughter and how that actually doesn't get as much airtime as the relationship with mom and daughter often gets in the vast majority of families. This is a really special evening just for dad to bring their daughter. And the girls behave differently when they're with their dads. When mom's around, I know it from personal experience.
Right.
You know,
they
when mom's
push the
around,
envelope.
they just behave differently, you know. And so this is really an evening for dads to sweep their little girls off their feet and treat them how they deserve to be treated for the rest of their lives.
Right.
And so that daddy daughter dance towards the end of the evening that we do is really, really special moment. And I always have videographer and I have photographer so that the moms still get to be a part of it through the wonders of the digital image.
2 questions. Number 1, what are the ages of the girls in the Royal Ball?
I think the youngest we've ever had was about 18 months. She was the cutest little redhead thing. She came years ago dressed up as Snow White. I'll never forget. But typically about 3 to kind of 8. Really, again, we don't cap it. Kind of the age, you know, every girl eventually grows out of their princess stage.
Right.
And so while they're still in it, we welcome them, whatever age that is.
Okay. My second question is, when you're being hired for an event, be it a birthday party, a theme party, or the Royal Ball, I would venture to say you probably have some very interesting conversations with the parents and coaching them as to what is about to happen, more so than with the children.
For the ball?
For any event.
Oh, for any event. Yeah, I think celebrations are such a big thing these days. And so I'm always there to help with kind of as little or as much as somebody wants. So if somebody literally just wants to book a princess, then that's fine, they can do that. But if they want to come to me and say, will you help me design something? I mean, I have other things available. I have like a backdrop and I have some decor, things like that. So I can also provide more if a parent desires. But I do feel like with Pinterest and Instagram these days, people have these huge and fantastical ideas, and then it's just helping them put those into place.
Last year, you sold out the Royal Ball in 2 weeks.
We did. I was so shocked. We sold out of VIP tickets last year in 14 hours.
Wow.
And then and they went on sale at midnight. I'm not going to do that to people this year. I got people waiting up until midnight. So this year they're going to go on sale at 8 o'clock in the morning. And yes, the main tickets sold out in 2 weeks. It's another one of the reasons we've moved venue. So we actually are able to increase the number of VIP tickets a small amount, and we're able to increase the number of tickets. And so that's really, I don't want to make it too big so that it loses its intimacy.
Right.
But I did have a long wait list last year, and so I want to try to get a few more people in this year.
So tell me how people can buy tickets, where they can buy tickets.
So tickets will go on sale on September 1st. And the links will be all over our social media and our website in the run up to that date. So if you're following us on either onceuponafairytale.nc, which is our Instagram handle, or the Daddy Daughter Royal Ball Instagram handle is just daddy_daughter_royal_ball. And so all the information will be posted on there so that nobody misses out.
Okay. Your oldest daughter is how old?
She's about to be 7 now.
So she gets to witness some of the things that you do.
She does. And I have a 3-year-old daughter as well, and they love it. They love seeing my performers come, because I actually keep all the costumes at my house, and so they get to see all the performers come and grab their costumes, and so they're very familiar with that, which is kind of a strange upbringing in a way, but they love it. And my oldest looks forward to the ball every single year. She starts asking about February, when is the ball?
Where do you see yourself in 2 or 3 years from now, the way things are going?
I mean, oh gosh, hopefully back in Moore County. We are still at the mercy of the military. My husband's still active duty.
Right.
And so if the military brings us back here, we would be thrilled. I think we would actually like to move out to Carthage area. We love that area. But business-wise, growing, adding more events.
Yes.
Seeing what movies come out and adding,
Right.
the popular characters.
With Barbie now coming out.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, there's a whole new...
Yes, there's a whole new stream of
Characters.
characters coming out. Exactly. So I think there's so much room for growth. Obviously, Moore County is growing. There's so many families coming in. So just being able to celebrate with them.
Yeah. So we forgive you for not living here right now. 'Cause we
Thank
think
you.
you'll be back, but you're a great
I do miss it. I miss it greatly.
You're a great spokesperson. The name of the company is Once Upon a Fairy Tale. The website is onceuponafairytalenc.com or Instagram at onceuponfairytale.nc.
Once upon a fairytale.nc.
Fairytale.nc.
Yeah.
And people can also reach you at Alice at onceuponafairytalenc.com.
Yep. Or bookings at onceuponafairytalenc.com as well. That's my operation manager's email. So she gets all of those emails and will help somebody book an event.
Best of luck with the Royal Ball coming up.
Thank you.
And with what Once Upon a Fairy Tale is doing and becoming in Moore County.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Alice. Good to see you. We'll be back in just a second. Thank you. Welcome back to our final segment of All Things Moore County. We are switching gears here. Our guest for the entire third set is Dr. Charay Smith of Drug Free Moore County, which is a 30-year-old nonprofit. It was created by the Moore County Commissioners to combat the war on drugs. Dr. Smith was on the show, a little over a year ago, and you were speaking about an event that you had at the Fair Barn, if I recall, fundraiser.
Yes.
Your work never stops. You're fundraising 24/7. You're reaching out into the community and trying to get at the root of the problem.
Yes.
How are things going? Because I know you have a couple of things you want to talk about today.
Definitely. Well, Bill, thank you for having us here, first of all.
Yes.
And hosting us just like you did last year. And that event did turn out to be a great success.
Great.
And we're looking for the same this year. We have faced several struggles and challenges in reference to getting the fiscal financial support that we need to provide the services to our community, especially around recovery and prevention education with substance use and substance misuse. So we are looking to plead to our community leaders and stakeholders once again that they would help us and that they would, join us for the cause.
Well, you have an event coming up next Saturday, the 26th of August at the Moore County Agricultural Center. And you have sponsors lined up.
Yes.
If you want to talk briefly about the sponsors and about the event, Voices for Recovery, it's a benefit gala.
Yes, sir. So we are definitely grateful for our sponsors. This year we have Van Camp, Meckham, and Newman Attorneys at Law. We have Pinehurst Surgical. We have Trinity Manufacturing. And we have Sand Hills Pediatrics and First Presbyterian Church of Carthage.
Impressive.
So we are definitely grateful for them being, they didn't wait around and wait till the last minute, but they came on board and showed us support. And because of them, we were able to proceed and plan this event so that it will be a very rewarding one. We especially are grateful that we have children at this event that will be performing, showing their talents and careers. And this is from a 7-week evidence-based prevention camp that we did in partnership with the Boys and Girls Club of the Sand Hills. We were on their campus for 7 weeks, and we provided a very high-level leadership summit. And these boys and girls were exposed to colleges. They went and did tours at the sheriff's office. They participated in piloting education, learning about careers related around aeronomics, and that kind of thing. And so we're very, very fortunate that we'll be able to highlight those recovery support specialists that led this event. Over 11 families benefit from Drug-Free Moore County as being employed with us. And through that, they are producing some very high-quality products, and we're so grateful for that.
Yeah. Tell me about the children that will be performing. What's the age group?
Yes, so our children will be between the ages of 8 to 18.
Okay.
They will be doing talents, singing. We have some special needs children also that will be there doing their talents, and we're so grateful for that. We have some that will be displaying careers. We highlighted their career choices. We wanted to make sure that these children understood that they had purpose. We did not want them to get lost in their family history or, a cycle. We wanted them to know that there is more to them than what they may have experienced or grown up or have seen or just had to endure because they have a working family like most of us. And so these children have chosen careers, and they will come dressed up like these professionals,
right,
or show us a demonstration or something like that. So we got a lot of surprises. We're so excited that these children will be there and will be performing.
Now, were these children in a program with you for a specific reason? Was it a drug-related issue?
Yes.
And they've come to the other side of it?
Well, some of them came directly from families whose parents were actively addicted to drugs.
Okay.
Some of them were referred to us by the local DSS and may have been taken from homes. Some of them actually may have just had a family member that was in recovery, and their parents wanted to put them in that program just as an intervention. So we have a mixture of children.
So an intervention means you want to get them on the right road before they can fall off the table, because it seems like some of these children will come from broken homes.
That's right. That's right.
And if there's an opportunity to take the wrong turn, sometimes kids aren't equipped to make the right decisions, and especially if they don't have a role model to prompt them.
That's right. That's right. And that's why we wanted to give them that. We wanted them to not just come and sit around, but we made sure that every day was planned and packed full of activities that would challenge them, to allow them to understand how to critically think through problem solving. We even did decision making demonstrations. The first day, these children actually planted a pumpkin seed, and they were able to do a lesson on growth and development, looking at how their seeds would start off with nothing, but then if you water it and nurture it, it will grow. And so they were all just comparing whose grew and whose didn't, and then why didn't it grow? Was it not in enough sunlight? Do I need to move mine? And how it might not been fair because theirs was right beside, and that was life. And so those recovery support specialists who instructed those children were able to do teachable lessons with them, and it was just rewarding. We bonded with those children, and they became a part of our family. day. It was unfortunate that because of funding, we could not go a full 10 weeks like we wanted to. But they have created a bond, and we're getting feedback from those parents and families. They miss camp. Our goal was to do it the entire summer, to carry those kids from their traditional education academic setting into this camp that was full of high level activities all the way until school started again. However, we're grateful for those 7 weeks that we were able to provide.
Your doctorate is in education, but I'm sure that they didn't teach you during your formal education about fundraising.
No.
And how important that is to what you're passionate about. Right?
Correct.
And
You're right.
You've got to develop that skill set.
That's right.
In addition to everything else that you were prepared for.
Yes.
Sometimes adults forget what it was like to be a child. They forget the magic of their childhood. They forget the joy in little things. But from the children's eyes, it's very exciting.
Yes.
But to get the adults enrolled, to get them out of themselves, is also a challenge.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah, that's correct. And I remember we were doing solar ovens, and that was one of the activities, the STEM activities that they did.
Mm-hmm.
And the students, I think Panera Bread donated some boxes, and we took aluminum foil and wrapped it around, and they made pizzas out of that. And they put the pizzas on the blacktop of the basketball court and let the son cook the food.
Oh.
And so it was one of the Boys and Girls Club instructors, director. He wanted to be a part of that because of that. And I think you're absolutely right. Sometimes we can get a little removed when we are not actively dealing with children, but when you're around them and you see that sparkle in their eye and you see their potential and understanding that just one opportunity could really change the trajectory of their life. And that is so invaluable, so invaluable.
There's a social, well, I don't know how I want to say it. There are lots of nonprofit organizations in Moore County that sometimes people love to rally around. And then there are some that have a stigma attached to it. My guess is that's a challenge that you have to face, isn't it?
Yes. Addiction, sometimes people write family members off due to embarrassment.
Right.
They don't want to be associated with that.
Right.
And with mental health, for years we've talked about that stigma, but the reality is that our demographics do not lie. We have a client now who, due to funding, we haven't been able to help. He actually was in treatment, doing very well, had his toe amputated, and has to go to follow-up appointments. And we were providing that transportation, but we're not able to because of the funds. So it is very real, and we understand that, nobody plans to become addicted, but it happens. It's human life. It's human, the human condition. And so we're definitely a resource that is invaluable to our community.
Right. What about your manpower? Do you have a lot of volunteers that you work with? Are you looking for more? Because I'm sure there are things that get sort of swept under the table that you can't address. It's got to be heartbreaking.
Right. Correct. Yes, we always looking for volunteers.
Right.
Always looking people to donate their times or their talent.
Right.
Or resources. We don't turn people away. We want people that are, passionate and willing to help, make this, it's something that we can't do alone. It's something that we're going to need everybody kind of helping, corralling around us to make possible.
Prior to your, I guess you replaced Dr. Karen Wicker.
Yes.
Prior to that replacement, what were you doing?
Prior to that, I was the principal of a school.
Of a school?
Yes.
So you didn't, this was not something on your career path?
Not at all.
Not at all, where you are now.
Right.
You envisioned yourself as a principal in a school, making sure that the kids got a good education, stayed on the straight and narrow. What you have now inherited is a juggernaut.
Yes.
That needs that needs it's like a plant that needs a ton of water.
Yes, lots of sleepless nights, lots of hard work.
You must see a lot of heartbreak.
Yes.
With families, with
Yes.
kids that you can't reach out to.
That's right.
And the only way you can do that is with additional funds.
That's right.
Right? We're getting into the fall season, and I think a lot of people think about the autumn as fundraising. There are lots of different agencies that will start advertising and rallying around for some of the nonprofits that they support. If people want to, I mean, give me your website, because you probably have, that's a good place for people to start, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So our website is www.drugfreemore.org. And that's www.drugfreemoore.org.
Okay. We spoke before the show. Since you're having your event on Saturday, the 26th of August, it's from 1 to 5 at 707 Pinehurst Avenue in Carthage. It's the Moore County Agricultural Center. So I mentioned a young lady to you, Caitlin Wood, who is one of the most, I think she's going to be a junior at Union Pines High School. And this kid melts me. It's her goodness. And she is Miss Moore County Agricultural.
Wow.
And she's been on the show in the past. And I think about, she's adopted a couple of different missions that she's working on. She's a very giving person. She's somebody I would like to hook you up with.
Right.
I think you'll be as impressed with her as I have been. But when you mentioned the Moore County Agricultural Center, it just
Thought about. I would love to meet her.
Oh my goodness,
love to meet her.
I'll have to send you a video of her when she was on the show and what she
Wow.
spoke about, and you'll see in 2 seconds.
Wow.
She's probably the epitome of what it is you're achieving. You want to see kids prosper
Wow.
and thrive,
Wow.
and she comes from a broken home.
Oh wow.
But she
Oh wow.
she rose above it.
Wow.
And
That's dynamic.
right.
And she's still in school. I
She's
heard
in
you
school. She's a great student.
Wow.
Very mature for her age. I'm guessing she's 6. Dorothy, would you say that Caitlin she's going to be a junior at Union Pines?
Yeah,
Is that 16?
at least, yeah, because last time she was in, I believe she was driving.
Oh, is that right?
I think so,
Okay,
yes.
so that means that she's
She's at least
legal.
16.
Oh
okay.
wow.
And what a presence she has. Yeah, I want to definitely put you in touch with her. Beyond the event next Saturday, the 26th, on Saturday afternoon, what does the rest of your fall season look like? What is Drug Free Moore County going to be up to?
Well, definitely contingent upon funding.
Uh-huh.
Because right now we really are in need of funds. And if we don't have funding, it's going to be very limited on what we can do.
Right.
But what we generally do is we partner up and do special donations for families that are dealing with addiction and recovery, and especially if they have children through the Christmas season. We always adopt a family, and we provide our recovery support services. We help usher persons into treatment based on their willingness, and we continue to provide transportation to and from treatment.
Okay. Time is short today, but we want this event to be successful for you. But I'm also more than willing to, share any updates on future shows if you're interested.
Yes.
And Dorothy would be a great person to speak to if you wanted to do some public service
Nice.
announcements.
Yes.
Have you ever done that?
No.
Okay.
Never.
So, Dorothy, are the PSAs, are they 30-second spots? And they get played frequently during the day. It's not like a one-time thing. Okay. Yeah, I think that would be a great way to keep the word out there.
Okay.
Yeah, Drug Free Moore County does a lot of important work, but needs a lot of support so that you can function.
That's right.
And otherwise, you're working in a bubble,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And there are the drug problem in Moore County is real, and it's invasive, and it covers ages so young that I think it would break your heart.
That's right.
Right?
Yes.
And it's the children you try to attend to early on so they don't go down a bad path and become a liability to the county.
That's right.
As they get older, and the people who may never get on the tax rolls and not responsible citizens. So you want to nip it in the bud. You do good work, and
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate your commitment and your passion. Again, in closing, the event is Sparkle and Recover, Voices for Recovery. There'll be guest speakers, community recognition, awards, and testimonials at 707 Pinehurst Avenue in Carthage at the Moore County Agricultural Center next Saturday, the 26th of August.
Yes.
We wish you the best of luck with it.
Thank you.
And we'll stay in touch.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming to join us. Thank you for your commitment. This is All Things Moore County. Have a great week, everybody. Thank you.